This is how I make a football shirt cake. It's a 7-inch square 2-layer vanilla sponge cake with vanilla buttercream and jam filling. For this I used my 7 egg amount and I split it across the square cake tin twice, so I baked it in 2 separate batches. Then once it was cooled, I wrapped it in cling film and just left it on the side overnight, and the next day I levelled it off and filled it, and then I removed one long side like this and then cut that in half with a serrated knife. I then trimmed the corners off just to look a bit more like shoulders, and then I attached it with some buttercream, and this worked like glue. I put it in the fridge to firm up, and then I used white chocolate ganache for a crumb coat and did that all around the outside using my smoother to make sure it was nice and smooth and firm, ready for the sugar paste. I did a crumb coat of white chocolate ganache, put it in the fridge for around half an hour, and then I did another coat of white chocolate ganache and put it in the fridge again. And I did this on a acrylic disc because I didn't want to affect the fondant board that I had ready. Once I'd done the 2 coats of white chocolate ganache and it was nice and firm, I ran a knife underneath just to stop it sticking to the acrylic disc and lifted it up onto the board, and I just attached it with some white chocolate ganache so that it wouldn't move around. You can use a cake lifter for this, but I just used my hands. They weren't too warm, they were clean, and the ganache was really firm, so it didn't leave any hand or finger marks in there. I then rolled out some red sugar paste and I used my smoothers to put that on and make sure it was in all the nooks and crannies. It can be quite difficult with a t-shirt cake because there is lots of kind of angles and corners, so you just have to be patient and gentle with the sugar paste and just make sure it's draped in all of those different bits. And then use my smoothers and my flexi smoothers to make sure it had a nice finish on it. You can probably guess now which team this is for. And then I decided to just add some details. This is great, this little wheel. It adds like a seam stitch detail. I'm not sure where it's from, I've had it for years, but I'm sure they do it in all the cake decorating online companies. I added some more details to the t-shirt, and I made some things last week, so I popped those on as well, like the logos and the writing. This is the sponsor of the football team. And I'm told this is the newest shirt, so I don't know anything about football, but yeah, apparently this is the new kit. And here is the finished cake. I've done quite a few cakes for this little boy, and they are always Football United based, so I'm always interested to see what he goes for each year. But that is how I made my t-shirt cake from a 7-inch square cake.